Hey folks, welcome back. Another Opponent Masters video, and today we're going to talk about Darach and Staraptor, right? So Darach and Staraptor, for the 7 of you out there who have them, people will have them eventually. I mean, it's just in the general pool, but for now, not apparently not a lot of people have been summoning on him. He's decent, right? He's definitely decent. Slash usable, because I definitely do like him as defog unit more than Altaria, just because we have the speed buffs over here, right? Also have, attack debuffs, etc. Plus, it's a better sync nuker, right? With if you pick up a lot of the other stuff on the grid, right? But yeah, again, depends on how many copies you have, right? So yeah, just a quick, in terms of the unit, right? Good HP. Attack's not that great. Speed very, very good. Brave Bird does damage, but you also take damage. Defog gets rid of terrain effects, field effects, all that stuff, weather, etc. And then lowers opponent's evasion by 1. Only 2 MP though. Right, Feather Dance -2 attack, and then your training move gets you +3 attack and +3 speed for your whole team, and then gives you gradual heals. And then sync move is based on how much the opponent's attack is lowered. Right, passive ripple effect, so that your evasion debuffs, attack debuffs apply to your opponent's whole team. Power posture, the more the opponent's attack is lower, the more it powers up your moves. And stand fast, so you don't take that much recoil from Brave Bird, right? So in terms of lucky skill wise, it is a sync nuker. It's a pretty good sync nuker, right? I think it should be the second strongest flying type sync nuker after Togekiss, right? So in these cases, you definitely want something like a Crit Strike 1 or 2, right? Whichever one you get, obviously 2 is better than 1. But outside of that, like maybe, I guess, if you get like Defense Crush, that would be nice, right? Yeah, I guess that's the only other real option, I'd say. Alright, getting into its sync grid at 1 out of 5. There's not too much, right? Move Kit Refresh for a training move is not very useful. But you could definitely pick up the Speed +20, that's a good stat node, right? You have another speed +5 over here, another speed +5 over here. There's some attack nodes, attack +10, some Brave Bird power-ups, right? So there are some really solid like stat buff nodes that you get at 1 out of 5, so that's actually pretty nice. Because usually, you don't have, usually grids don't have that much like interesting stuff at 1 out of 5, so you have to hope that at least you get some like good stat nodes, which he does get some pretty good stat nodes, right? Moving on to 2 out of 5, we actually have some more interesting stuff, so we don't have to worry about just picking up stat nodes and being down bad like that. So you could pick up Pep Rally, so it makes that you get +4 speed for your team instead of +3. It might seem only like, oh, it's only just 1 more, but it's for your whole team, so it's like +3 more almost, right? Because 3 units on your team, unless your teammates died, which that would not be good. You want Brave Bird, Move Kit Refresh, right? If you want to nuke, want to pick up the pecking order over here, right? That's your attack nuke, or minus attack nuke, I guess, for the opponent, and probably defog NPR, right? If you want, evasion debuffs. Although at 2 out of 5, you don't really have too much use for like evasion debuffs yet, but this is just for if you want, as him as a tech unit to get rid of terrain and all that stuff. But if you don't need that, I guess you could do Terrify to, just a quick and easy attack debuff. Although, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter that much, because you're either going for like +6 or -6, or you're not going for it, right? Which in that case would be 3 uses of Feather Dance. And unless like you're fine with like -5, because it does save you 1 turn of Feather Dance, right? If it's a shorter stage, then sure, you could go for Terrify. Otherwise, just some Brave Bird attack nodes, right? Or power up nodes. Or if you want to gamble on the NPR2 on a 1 base MP move, you could do this. Because if you do get this, that's actually kind of nice, because you get max speed buffs for your team, right? And if you want, you go over here, get these stat nodes instead of Pep Rally 1. But if you want to stay, play it safe, you can still have the Pep Rally over here, right? And then you pick up some speed nodes, whatever. It just really depends on what you're trying to do with this unit. If you're trying to do damage at 2 out of 5, then obviously you want the more Brave Bird power-ups. If you're trying to do some techie stuff, you do the defog stuff, you want to be more of a bit of a support, you pick up NPR over here, right? So at 3 out of 5 is where you get all your multipliers. There's a few ways to approach this. One is just ignore all the evasion down things, because evasion down does require you to basically you gotta run Altaria, right? Beside Staraptor, and that's not that great of a team comp, right? Just because Altaria doesn't really do too much after debuffing evasion for you, right? So you could go a route where you just ignore the evasion stuff and just go like pecking order, all that, right? Stand fast, whatever, and then there could be also a route where you do have Altaria, then you could pick up all the evasion stuff, right? So easy target, that's another sync nuke multiplier, right? You still probably want pecking order, honestly, over here, just because it's good, right? It's very, very good. So, you know, you probably want that. I'm not a huge fan of Way Down, because it costs you 10 energy, and it's only a 50% chance of -1 evasion. So if you're just relying on that just to get easy target and wide open, that might take a bit too long, right? In comparison to just running Altaria on your team, right? That would be a bit more reliable. You could come up here, pick up Stand Fast 5, wide open, right? That's a, you know, free, however much, 30%, since you're getting -6 evasion on your opponents anyways, and then, you know, maybe a sync nuke, or not sync nuke, a sync move power up node over here, right? You could do that. Or again, if you want to completely ignore the evasion stuff, that's fine too, right? Completely fine. You just not go for the evasion stuff. You could just go for Stand Fast over here, Brave Bird move, gauge refresh. If you want to play a bit safe, you could actually, that's not enough. What would we have to? Maybe we'll have to drop, yeah, move gauge refresh. You could drop move gauge refresh. If you can't get that MP refresh, you'll get a lot more speed for your team, right? So you could afford probably dropping the move gauge refresh over here and getting like first aid. But generally, I mean, if you really are worried about like Brave Bird damage or recoil damage, I'd probably just go ahead and run another like healer instead, right? Instead of going all the way over here to get like first aid, because you do have to sacrifice quite a bit, right? You can pick up Power Flux over here. Power Flux 3, is it, right? Yeah, Power Flux 3, pick up a Sync Nuke Multiplier here, and pick up maybe a Brave Bird power up or something, right? So yeah, obviously this is gonna, overall, you're gonna do a lot less damage, but then you could, instead of throwing Altaria in there, which again, doesn't really do too much after defogging, because like, you can already defog with Staraptor if you're trying to like defog away the opponent's, you know, field terrain stuff, right? You could just use Staraptor already, because the big thing about Altaria is, you know, she could defog, right? But then after defogging is just like AoE flinch maybe, right? There's not too much going for that, but even though you do much less damage with, you know, a grid like this, which focuses a bit more on pecking order and stuff, at least, you know, in that slot you could put in maybe another damage healer to like make up for the lost damage that you lose from stuff like easy target and wide open. And you just do a bit more overall damage with that other unit that you run on the team, right? Damage healer. So let's talk about some team comps over here. All right, so I almost called it Braviary Staraptor. That's the wrong region bird. Staraptor, there's a few things that you could run, right? Again, the big one is with Altaria. If you do how do you spell Altaria, man? Whatever. Lycia is a bit easier to spell, I guess. But yeah, you can run it with Lycia, and over here a something like a Hilbert, I guess, right? You could do Hilbert Samrod. If you want Altaria to do some damage here, you could also instead do like Faulkner, right? Faulkner's fine, because I mean, he does give himself +3 physical attack anyways, right? So Faulkner could obviously take care of that without even MP refresh on the trainer move, right? So you could do Faulkner instead. What else you could do is over here, you could, if you're just running, you know, the attack down stuff, you could do like Rayquaza, right, with Steven, or any other flying type damage healer over here, right? That you could reasonably keep up speed with, in terms of, you know, again, speed stuff, right, with your grid. So yeah, those are some basic ones, right? Again, it doesn't have to be Rayquaza over here, it could be any other flying type damage dealer, right? I probably wouldn't go with Togekiss though, because they kind of compete for like the same thing, right, in that team slot. So yeah, maybe not Togekiss, but you know, something that has a bit more reliable DPS over here. So not something like Nate either. Although you could do that just because, you know, it's a really, I guess, low gauge cost team, sort of, right? But yeah, that's it, I guess. So anyways, that's for this one. I guess hope you all enjoyed. Guys, think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video. Subscribe to the channel for some more Poem Masters content. Join Discord if you guys need more help on stuff, or you want to just talk Poem Masters. And I'll see you guys in the next one.